Hey guys, Jake here, and today I'm here with week number 3 of the CPC. This week we're up against Aberforth. He's the coach of the Newcastle Umbreons. Abe is a very good player. He always has success in a lot of leagues, very big leagues. For example, he's in the MPL, and he's also in the GVAD league right now. He's doing good in that, and yeah, he's a very good player. And we played each other a few times, and they've always wanted it to be good battles, so I was definitely looking forward to playing him this week. For this season of CPC, Abe drafted a very offensive team. His team consists of Noivern, Superior, Keldeo, Thunderous T, Victini, Diggersby, Mega Tyranitar, Omastar, Steelix, and Comfy. So, yeah, very offensive team. One thing that stands out to me right away is that he has no hazard removal, but unfortunately I can't capitalize on that as much as some other teams can, because I don't really have a spike setter, which kind of sucks, but him having no removal is nice, because if I get up my rocks with one of my mods, they're up to stay, which means 25% on the Thunderous T and the Victini each time. So yeah, that's great. So yeah, first off, he's got the Victini. Victini is a massive threat to my team. My fire resists are not the best. I have Manaphy, I have Hydreigon, and I have Seismitoad, both of which he could hit like hard with super effective coverage. Bolt Strike does very good amounts of Manaphy. Seismitoad can actually Oko Seismitoad if he's something like an Expert Belt and I'm not Rindoberry, and even if he's not Expert Belt, V-Create into Energy Ball most certainly kills most Seismitoads. Hydreigon is just outsped and killed with Dazzling Gleam. So, Victini's a huge threat to my team. He's also got the Thunderous T. Thunderous T, not as big as a threat as Victini. I do have some ways of dealing with it. My Moongus can take electric hits as well, and basically with Thunderous, it's kind of hard for him to fit coverage to hit everything. Like, he kind of wants Thunderbolt for general stab, wants something like Focus Blast for my Hydreigon, HP or Grass Knot for my Seismitoad, and he also would want something like Psychic for my Moongus. And even with that moveset, it can't really break Gardevoir that well. So it also kind of just doesn't really leave room for setup options. So that's good to know. He's also got the Superior. Superior, not really a threat to my team. I do have pretty good defensive checks to it, and I do have ways of revenging it, which is very solid. Yeah, it's hard for Superior to get past stuff like my Golbat. It's hard for Superior to get past my Moongus as well. So having the dual poison core kind of helping this week. So yeah, that's pretty cool. He's also got the Diggersby. Diggersby is a huge threat to my team. I don't have Switch in as well. Well, it's a Diggersby, so what would you really expect? But yeah, Life Orb Diggersby just destroys my team because my only normal resist is Metagross, and it's outsped by Diggersby and Oko. He can pretty much just spam return versus my whole team, which is really threatening. He has many options to bring, in my opinion, like Agility, Life Orb, Scarf, Band. All look pretty good in this game. Even SD. So yeah, Diggersby is a huge threat. He's also got the Noivern. Noivern's it outspeeds my whole team. And I don't really have the best switching to Noivern. This is one thing I've definitely noticed with my team, is that it doesn't really have good special sponges. I kind of rely on Gardevoir a lot to take special hits, but like my Gardevoir is chipped a bit and like rocks are up. I don't really have the best switching to Noivern. So yeah, I'll get into that a bit later. Keldeo, same deal with Superior. I do have some pretty good defensive checks to it, and ways of revenging it. Not the biggest threat, but with the right set, it can definitely put in work. And I know one thing that he probably won't do is just bring a standard like Spexer, Scarf Keldeo. I forgot how to talk for a minute, but yeah, I think he'll try and bring a little different Keldeo set this week. He's also got the Comfy. Comfy is a huge threat to my team, because if you look at my team, Amoonguss and Metagross kind of counter, which is good, but then as well as Golbat. But if you look past that, the Comfy's priority draining kits is so nice for a lot of my team. It's great for Hydreigon, great for Hawlucha, great for Sneasel. It sets up on stuff like Kangaskhan, sets up on some guards. If Manaphy is weakened, it can pick it off. So, yeah, Comfy is definitely pretty scary. I need to keep the right things alive to deal with that Mon. Also, Mega T-Tar. Mega T-Tar is a spooky Mon, because with its incredible stat distribution, basically, it can live a lot of hits from a lot of my Mons. Like, it takes stuff like Meteor Mash, Max Attack Meteor Mash from my Metagross, Hyper Voice from my Gardevoir, Low Kick from my Sneasel. I just don't really have great ways of OKing it. Focus Blast from my Hydreigon. It takes Earthquakes from Seismitoad. I don't think even 2 KOs it. The one thing on my team that I think can actually OHKO it is Hawlucha's High Jump Kick, but if he's actually defensive enough, he can actually take that. So yeah, T-Tar is insane. Yeah, definitely have to be careful with that. Also, he's got the Omastar. Omastar, I do have some pretty good ways of checking it, so I'm not too concerned about it. Yeah, if it could set up like it does get the 3 hazards. It does get Spikes, Stealth Rock, and Toxic Spikes. So yeah, that's pretty scary, because if you would want to hazard stack me, that could be pretty spooky. So yeah, and then last up, he's got the Steelix. Steelix I don't expect to come, because he doesn't really need to check anything defensively this game. And like maybe if he just wants a reliable rock thrower, he can bring it. But I'm not really too concerned about Steelix. I do have pretty good answers to it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the team I brought. So the first Mon I decided to put on the team was this Life Orb Sneasel. Max attack, almost max speed. I'm speed creeping the superior. Yeah, I outspeed everything on his team except for Noivern, which I could one-shot with Ice Shard, but as you can see, my moveset is Knockoff, Pursuit, Low Kick, Icicle Crash. I don't have Ice Shard, and that's because pretty much what I can do with this Sneasel is, if need be, I can bring this Inverse Noivern, bluff the Ice Shard, and then go for the Pursuit if I think he will switch out. So that's pretty nifty. This Sneasel is walled by Keldeo, but it's pretty good for just trapping a lot of his stuff like Superior Dice to Icicle Crash. So does Thundurus. Victini I can Pursuit Trap if I want to. Diggersby, the Ice Shard for Diggersby is very nice this game. Low Kick actually does a ton to T-Tar. I think it has a chance to go an offensive T-Tar after Rocks, which is great. Steelix kind of walls me, but that's okay. Omastar takes a lot from Low Kick. I don't think it dies, but yeah. And I think the Sneasel can also take a Draining Kiss from Comfy and do a ton back with Life Orb, Bicycle Crash. So yeah, this is a very nice Mon in this game, because I can just deal with a lot of his offensive threats. Oh, I said I have Icicle Crash for Diggersby, but I actually don't. But that's fine, because I can still OHKO the Diggersby with Icicle Crash if I want to, and if I don't think he's Scarf. So yeah, pretty good Mon. I want to try and use this to Pursuit Trap a lot of his stuff, kind of like Thundurus, Noivern, and Victini especially. Yeah, next up I've got a very good Mon in this game, my Amoonguss, holding the Black Sludge, Regenerate, obviously, Sludge Bomb, Spore, Seed Bomb, Toxic, Max HP, 44 Defense, 204 Spit F, and Sassy with 8 Speed. Basically, this Amoonguss just checks so much of his team defensively very well. It can deal with the Superior, deal with the Keldeo. I have Seed Bomb on there, so this thing can actually 1v1 1v1 a Calm Mind Keldeo, which is pretty important. Because if I went for something like a Gidrain, he can just set up me, start setting up subs, and I actually would lose to it 1v1. Seed Bomb is also nice for potential substitute Mega T-Tar, which I actually lost to in a mock. So yeah, Giga Drain actually doesn't break a T-Tar's sub and sand, but Seed Bomb does. The one thing about the set is that if he runs Scald on his Keldeo, he has the chance to burn me, meaning my Seed Bombs will do less. So that's why I did consider Giga Drain in the end. But at the end, I decided to keep Seed Bomb because I think his Keldeo will run Surf this game, or Hydro Pump, because Surf really guarantees him some nice good KOs and stuff like Metagross. And yeah, it's good for that. But even if I do get burnt, I still break a Keldeo sub unless he's very defensive, so that's good. Spore is just puts stuff to sleep. He actually doesn't have an immunity to Spore. Well, he has Superior, but that I just easily Sledge Bomb that thing, so that's very nice. Other than that, I can pretty much spam Spore versus the rest of his team. Toxic I put on there for Comfy, because if I'm in a situation where Comfy is like +6 versus me and I really need to put it on a timer, I can go for the Toxic. I will have to scout. I will have to make sure he doesn't have taunt first, but yeah, basically I put it on there because this Amoonguss is really my only thing on my team that really can stop the Comfy from doing a lot of work. So yeah, it's very important in that regard. But yeah, Amoonguss is just a great great this game. He doesn't really have the best ways of threatening. Yeah, he can like hit it hard with T-Tar, Diggersby, and Victini, but other than that, it just walls a very good portion of his team. He also has Noivern, but while Superior, while Keldeo can kind of check Thundurus. I will have to. One thing I forgot to mention about Thundurus is that one thing I was fearing this game a lot was the Z-Fly Thundurus, because he can nuke my Gardevoir and my Amoonguss, so I definitely have to be on the lookout for that. So if he is Z-Fly Thundurus, that's kind of scary. I'll kind of have to guess what his set is based on how he's playing it, but so I did actually consider Protect for that, but I decided Toxic was just more reliable because Comfy is just a huge threat to my team. So yeah, next up I've got my Gardevoir, 252 HP on 140 SpDef, Calm, and 116 speed. So first let me explain the EV spread. Basically, I want the Sync SpDef so I can have something to take on Noivern. Can also deal with Thundurus well. Take hits from Keldeo good as well. Just very good mon this game. It can really be a team player this game as well with a wish. Passing wishes to stuff like Amoonguss and other mods that I'll show on my team later is just very nice. So yeah, basically I put this on here because I was just really scared of Noivern. And yeah, very good mount this game. This investment, basically what I'm doing is I'm creeping a max speed Jolly Metagross by a few points, because I think I didn't wanna, because like that's what I think he'll creep with his Diggersby, and I didn't wanna go the extra mile and creep a max speed Jolly Diggersby with my Gardevoir, because that means I would lose out in a lot of bulk, and then Noivern just becomes more threatening to my team. So yeah, next up, Seismitoad, rockin' Rindoberry with Earthquake, Stealth Rock, Scald, and Toxic. Earthquake is for basically just general stab, same with Scald. So I can get burns with Scald, so that's nice. Stealth Rocks are very good this game. Rocks are very good for taking 25% away from the Victini and the Thundurus each time it comes in on Rocks. So yeah, that's pretty good. Toxic. Toxic is good for stuff like Keldeo. Superior if like I really need to stay and reverse it, but I really don't envision myself. But good for Comfy as well. yeah, I didn't really know what else I wanted in this spot. Maybe I should have had Icy Wind for Noivern, but yeah, basically this spread is, I've got a bit of speed, so in case he wants to try and speed creep me into something. Max HP just maximize my bulk. 156 defense, just to take hits from Victini better. And I've got the 84 Spadef, which means non-boosting item Noivern can't 2-KO me with Hurricane. So yeah, that's pretty good. I didn't really feel like I needed the max defense anyway. So yeah, just rocks are very important in this game. This thing is my first pivot into Victini, so yeah, it's good in that regard. And next up, I've got my Hawlucha. Hawlucha is putting the Chillon Berry this week. Sword Stance, High Jump Kick, Acrobatics, and Stone Edge. 40 HP, max attack, Jolly Speed for Superior, pretty simple. Chillon Berry is very good, so basically something I just kept running into in my mocks was that Diggersby could just spam return versus me, and like that just hurt me so much, because like if you look at what I've brought so far, my team really doesn't have much for Scarf Diggersby once my stuff like my Seismitoad and Amoonguss is weakened. So I really want something that can just take a hit from it and OHKO with a high jump kick. So I felt like that could just be really useful this game. It's also nice if I'm like about to sweep him and he didn't bring the Noivern, or the Noivern's out of the way. And he tries to revenge me with quick attack, but I could just eat my Chillon Berry and then I get to +2 speed, because I actually outspeed every Longling's team except for Noivern, and I actually, if my berry is gone and I don't have the item, then I actually just kind of win if I get to +2. And I have the unburden boost. He really doesn't have much for that, unless I'm like really low and in range of Diggersby after the quick attack, or after the Chillon Berry is popped. So but yeah, this is just a really good bonus game. He doesn't have great checks to it. Stone Edge is for Thunderous, and then Dual Stab, it covers the rest of his team. So yeah, hoping to try and get a sweep with this thing. The Chillon Berry is very important because of how big of a threat Diggersby is. So yeah, and last but not least, I've got my Hydreigon, holding the Choice Scarf again. Draco Meteor, U-turn, Focus Blast, and Dark Pulse. Draco Meteor, because it's Draco Meteor, General Stab, but U-turn for momentum, Focus Blast for T-Tar, and Dark Pulse for another stab that's more spammable. So yeah, basically this is Scarf Hydreigon is pretty nice this game, because I can bring it in versus stuff like Thunderous, Superior, Noivern, Victini, and just start putting in work. Once the Comfy is down, he really just does not have a switch into this at all. So yeah, that's very nice. Focus Blast also allows me to hit Celix really hard, and T-Tar. So yeah, this is also a pivot into Victini if need be, because if he were to go for something like a V-Create, then basically he would his speed would be lowered, and I could outspeed him and hook him with a Dark Pulse. So yeah, that's very nice. Overall, pretty good late game win con, especially if I could kill the Comfy. So yeah, so that's my team. I'm feeling pretty good about my matchup for this game. I would say it's in my favor, but yeah. So this is my team. I feel like it's pretty good. But yeah. So I'll be right back with the battle. Alright, here we are with the match versus Abe, and as you can see, he decides to bring the team of Victini, Keldeo, Thunderous T, Comfy, Mega Tyranitar, and Diggersby, and he decided to not bring the Superior, Noivern, Omastar, and Steelix. So yeah, I pretty much expect, this is pretty much what I expected. Victini, Comfy, Diggersby, probably the biggest threats of my team. So other than that, I can feel like I can deal with his team pretty well. First off, I decided to lead with my Seismitoad because I could get rocks up, and if he leads with something like Tyranitar, try and get his own rocks up, because he should notice that I don't have any hazard removal as well. And then if I could get my rocks up turn 1, that's great, because just getting the immediate chip on the Victini and the Thunderous, and even the T-Tar, getting a chip on the T-Tar is nice, just to get it in range of certain attacks. So rocks are so important in this game, so I'm going to lead with my Seismitoad. as he decides to lead with his Thunderous Tease. So, turn 1, basically, basically, sorry, something came up, but, he could definitely have Grass Knot here as coverage for my Seismitoad, so I do have the Rindo Berry, and I could live any one hit, but basically I don't want that Rindo Berry being popped turn 1, just to get rocks up. Like, I know rocks are important, but I can still set them up versus I can set them up versus the Keldeo, versus the Victini, versus the Diggersby if I'm healthy enough, versus the T-Tar, so I don't need rocks up this early. I could just play it slow. I want to go into my Mungus to take a potential Grass Knot, and yeah, I just didn't want my Rindo Berry being popped that early when I felt no need to risk it when I have such a safe switch in that is my Mungus. So, as he actually predicts that and goes for a Psychic, but that does 47, which is fine. But, yeah, basically, he could. So he does a lot. I can live another one and put him to sleep with a Spore, but the thing is, I don't want my Amoonguss taking that hit. If I switch out into something like my Gardevoir, then that's good for me because I will be able to take the hit well. My Amoonguss gets the regen, and then I get to throw up a Wish, and yeah, so that'll be good. But yeah, basically, I don't want to stay in this turn because even if I did just sack this to get the Spore off, I'd still be alive and I'd get regen, but I'd still be like very low, and I wouldn't be able to like check the Keldeo as effectively, even the Comfy if it's set up. So I decided I want to keep this Mungus healthy, seeing as important it is to my team. So I'm gonna go hard into my Gardevoir, as he just clicks Psychic again as expected. So yeah, now I'm just gonna throw up a Wish, see what he goes into. As he decides to go into Victini, I do make the Evolve, and then I throw up the Wish, and here I just wanna click Protect, see what this Victini wants to do. So yeah, basically, if he's choiced, I can see what he locked himself into, and yeah, it's pretty good. So yeah, here I go for the Protect. As he just goes for the U-turn. So here I'm thinking, oh, he's probably choiced like something like Scarf Bandit, something along those lines. So what I can do is I can just wish again, because because I think he's locked into U-turn and he'd be forced to switch into something else. But there still is a good chance he's not choiced. So I should have considered going to Seismitoad here, but the reason I didn't was because if he was something like Bandit U-turn, he got the U-turn off and he just he got a lot of momentum and chip damage off on my Seismitoad, which is kind of annoying considering how good Seismitoad is versus team. So so yeah, basically this turn I make a misplay, and I kind of stay in with my Gardevoir, kind of banking on him not being choiced. But as you're gonna see, he's actually just I throw up the Wish as he just kills me with V-Create, which is really bad because it's only turn 5 and I lost my Gardevoir, which just sucks a lot. I definitely misplayed that. I should have went to Seismitoad because I even would have got the Wish. Like, I don't know what I was thinking at all. I also didn't want him to predict me and go for the Energy Ball. So yeah, that was just a really poor play on my part. I was just not thinking. So now I'm thinking he might be Colbur Berry, and Colbur Berry Victini even at -1 can live a knockoff from my Sneasel. So I decided he switched moves, so he's definitely not Scarf, and he is -1 speed, so I can guaranteed outspeed this with my Hydreigon and OHKO him. So I will go out into my Hydreigon, and here on this turn, his Victini will die to a Draco Meteor and a Dark Pulse if he isn't Colbur, and realizing how important this Victini is to his team, I'm gonna U-turn because I figured no way he really stays in here, because just seeing how important this Victini is to his team, he should save it, as he does, as I go for the U-turn, and then he goes into T-Tar, and I could just go into my Hawlucha. Now, this is a pretty weird turn, so Hawlucha versus T-Tar, he does, if you look at his team, he does have many fighting resists, he has many aggressive switching options to my Hawlucha. So I figured what he might do is he might predict me to over-predict and go for something like Swords Dance, so I can hit those mons harder the next turn. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm actually going to make a pretty safe play here. So I'm just gonna go straight for the high jump kick because it will OHKO this Tyranitar, and getting this Tyranitar out of the way is great for stuff like my Hydreigon. So I just click high jump kick on this turn. If he does goes in something like Thunderous Tea, Victini, or Comfy, then it's not the end of the world because I do have switch-ins into, well, not really Victini, but I do have a counterplay to if those mods were brought out. So I'm just gonna click high jump kick on this turn. I get the wish back for that, and I just click high jump kick as he stays in, and he actually just gets one shot. So yeah, that's very nice. Now here he brings out in his Victini. I can't OHKO this with Stone Edge, so here I figured he's probably going for a V-Create or even for something like a, yeah, he's definitely going for a V-Create on this turn. If he does go for the U-turn predicting my Seismitoad, it's not the end of the world, because he doesn't really have that much to immediately threaten my Seismitoad, which is very nice. So I'm going to go ahead into my Seismitoad in this turn, as he does go for the V-Create, which is amazing, because now I can get up my rocks. That V-Create definitely reveals that he's Max Attack, Adamant, and probably not a boosting item, which is good information. So but yeah, he probably doesn't want to stay on this turn because I feel like my Rindobear is kind of obvious, and he wouldn't want to go for something like Energy Ball and take a ton from Earthquake. So I just have to get up my rocks on this turn. Very good for the remainder of this game, as he goes hard into his Keldeo. I do have a dedicated switch into this Keldeo, and it is indeed my Amoonguss. So I'm just gonna go straight into my Amoonguss as he goes for the Scald, and thankfully he does not burn me. So in the team prep, I did think I'd talk about it would be pretty annoying if he had Scald, because he does have the burn chance, and if he burns my Amoonguss, then my Seed Pounce will be doing significantly less. So yeah, he does actually have the Scald, which means thankfully he didn't get a burn that time. But yeah, I need to be careful with my Amoonguss, because if it gets Scald burn, if it got Scald burn, then that one kind of suck a lot. So but yeah, for here he did reveal leftovers, which kind of makes me think he's sub, but I can still manage to fire off a Spore this turn, because if he does sub on my Spore, it's not the end of the world. But yeah, anything else will go to sleep. So yeah, I just fire off a Spore as he goes for the Scald Fishing or the Burning In, and thankfully he does not get it. So yeah, here we are. Here, good Black Sludge. So here we are, Amoonguss versus Keldeo. His Keldeo is asleep, and he probably will not stay in because all it does is lose momentum. Basically, his only thing to really threaten my Amoonguss is his Victini. So I figured he probably wants to try and get some momentum. What Victini does is it forces my Seismitoad to come in, and the more that is weakened, the better it is for him, because means stuff like his Diggersby will have a better time cleaning up. It might put in a range of Comfy. So yeah, basically Victini looks like a really good play for him, because it did force out my Amoonguss. It forced Miss Seismitoad to take damage. So what I'm actually going to do on this turn is I'm going to pull a double into my Hydreigon, because after Roxy will be in guaranteed range of Draco, which is great. So yeah, I will pull a double into my Hydreigon, as he actually does go hard into Victini, which is great. So now I get the momentum in my hands again. So here I go for the U-turn again, because I'm just thinking he needs this Victini around. So knowing that I can play pretty aggressively with my Hydreigon, and I went for the U-turn predicting either the Comfy or the Keldeo. So I go into my Hawlucha here, and here's what I'm thinking. If I could set up an SD here and get a free turn, I could potentially just win, because I don't believe Comfy kills me, and if I can manage to lure the Diggersby, and if he's something like Scarf Diggersby, and I manage him to go for return, because he wouldn't see me get an Unburden boost, then that would put me in a great position, because I would get the Unburden boost. My acrobatics would be doing more to the Comfy. So yeah, basically I'm thinking if things go out and I set up an SD here, I could just win. So I go for the SD, as he actually goes hard into his Thunderous Tea and on my Sword Stance. So now I'm thinking, by the way he predicted my Amoonguss turn 1, and by the way he just brought the Thunders in on my Hawlucha like this, it kind of makes me think it's Scarf. So what I'm actually going to do on this turn is let me talk about it. So basically what he did earlier was he revealed that he had Psychic, and so I figured Psychic looked like a pretty good play for him this turn, because if he managed to go for something like a Thunderbolt, and I went into my Amoonguss, which seems like a very good switch in on this turn, because then he lost a lot of momentum, and yeah, basically it's just pretty much, it lets me make another aggressive switch. So I figured he probably wouldn't want that to happen. Psychic does kill my Hawlucha, and it also kills my Amoonguss, so I'm thinking it also 2Ks my Amoonguss, so I'm thinking that seems like a pretty good play for him. So I figured that's his most likely play, and if he doesn't, if he does go for the electric move, it's not the end of the world. So what I'm actually going to do in this turn is I'm going to go hard into my Sneasel, predicting the Psychic. If he does go for the electric move, I can live it and kind of bluff the Ice Shard and maybe go for something like Pursuit. But I go hard into my Sneasel as he actually goes for the Volt Switch, and he gets a crit. So yeah, that sucked a lot, because my Sneasel was pretty good for that game. Granted, I probably should have considered possibility of him having Volt Switch more, but yeah, that just pretty much sucks. So I do lose my Sneasel. It wasn't crucial for me to win this game, so yeah, I like, it's not the end of the world, but yeah. Now what I'm forced to do is I have to bring up my Amoonguss, and yeah, here on this turn I think I just went for the Toxic, predicting the Victini, because, or no, I went for the Toxic because if he stayed in this comfy, getting that thing Toxic was just really relieving, because it meant no Calm Mind sweeps today. But it did work if you went into Victini as well, because getting that thing on the timer is nice, because it can't just play it as he can't just play it as free as he wants. So yeah, here on this turn I'm just gonna go into my Seismitoad. A pretty obvious switch, but I feel like it's my only play. So I do go into my Seismitoad. So he makes a nice prediction. He goes for the U-turn, but yeah, here he brings out his Diggersby. Here I can actually live an attack from a Scarf Diggersby, so that's very good, because if he does stay in, I get information on a set, and if he does kill me, I get information on a set. But if he doesn't kill me, I can get a Scald off, maybe get a Brain Chance. It won't OHKO, but it's pretty nice. So here I'm just gonna fire for Scald. So he actually goes for the U-turn. That damage is definitely Scarf damage, so I'm definitely thinking he's dual Scarfers at this point in time, because you don't really run U-turn on Diggersby unless it's Scarf, because usually you just like to hit stuff as hard as possible. So yeah, I'm thinking he's probably Scarf Thunderous and Scarf Diggersby, because of all the Volt turn he's bringing. So yeah, he just goes hard Keldeo on my Scald. So so now I can just go into my Amoonguss again. Really doesn't lose me much, as he actually stays asleep. So basically, I wasn't really sure if he had Rest Talk, because even though he didn't go for Sleep Talk right there, it still makes sense that he wouldn't go for Sleep Talk, because if he went for Sleep Talk and like he got Scalded and I stayed in with my Seismitoad, I would be really healthy, and he couldn't really afford that. So but he also just, so it makes sense if he did have Sleep Talk and why he didn't go for that. But it would also he also just might not have it. So here I'm thinking I'm pretty free to fire off Seed Bomb. Seed Bomb plus Stealth Rocks will kill the Victini, and if it goes onto Thunderous, I can eat Psychic and 2K almost with Sludge Bomb. So yeah, so I just fire off Seed Bomb on this turn as he goes into Victini. So I'm thinking, oh, this is great. I can kill the Victini, but he actually reveals the Iapapa Berry, meaning that his Victini is it's not really healthy because it's at 47 and it's toxic, but it means it's usable again, which is a huge problem. So basically what this forced me to do is it forced me to sack off my Seismitoad again. Well, yeah, I was sacking it off the first time pretty much, but we went for U-turn. So yeah, here I'm just gonna sack off my Seismitoad, as he just kills me with V-Create there. So now I'm forced into my now I go into my Hydreigon. Maybe I actually should have gone to Hawlucha here, but it's not a huge misplay. So here I'm still thinking, even though it's very low, I still think he needs this thing to nuke the Amoonguss if need be. So I'm just gonna click U-turn. This was very risky on my part, but even if he did stay in, I could have probably just gone to Amoonguss because I figured he probably wouldn't go for V-Create, probably something like Dazzling Gleam or U-turn. So yeah, I click U-turn on this turn as he does actually go to his Keldeo, which is nice for me because now I can bring in my Hawlucha, and here I just believe I just fire off an Acrobatics as he goes hard into his Comfy, and that does pretty much nothing, which means this Comfy is a pretty annoying wall to my Hawlucha, meaning this Hawlucha is probably my most expendable mon at this point, because he also does have the Scarf Thunderous in the back. So I still want to keep it around though, because the Trillonberry could be very nice for the Diggersby. So yeah, here I can just go hard to my Mooks. I considered doubling here, or I mean I considered staying in because my switch to Amoonguss was very obvious on this turn. But yeah, I did consider staying in because I figured he might pull a double in as Victini here. But yeah, I just stay in as he actually doubles into his Keldeo. So interesting play. I'm not really sure I understand why, but this is good for me because I can just fire off a Seed Bomb, as this turn he actually does reveal to have Sleep Talk, which means, yeah, he just didn't want to go for my Seismitoad, as I can actually 2K him with Seed Bomb. And yeah, that's definitely an offensive Keldeo, even with Sleep Talk, based on that damage. So yeah, that's good to know. So I can just fire off another Seed Bomb, as he actually goes for the Scald, and he doesn't, as he gets a crits, but he doesn't burn again. So he was 0 for 3 in Scald Burns. That's kind of unfortunate. I do kind of feel bad a bit, but yeah, basically what he does is he goes into his Thunderous, and I can just go for the Spore in this turn, put the scene to sleep, and it'll allow me to just start firing off Sludge Bombs on the next turn. He actually goes for the Sludge Wave. He crit me, which kind of sucks, which means after regen I'm actually in range of a Diggersby. But I will continue getting the Black Sludge, which is actually why I stay in here, so after the regen I would be able to take a hit from the Diggersby. So yeah, I go for the Sludge Bomb as he goes hard into his Diggersby. Thankfully I do have the Chillon Hawlucha in the back, and this tech really was helping me out here because I can go hard to my Hawlucha here because I will be able to take a return, and I would get the Unburden boost from the Trillonberry popping, and I can threaten him out. So, and it would also get regen. So yeah, if I didn't have the Trillonberry, I actually might have just lost on this spot. But yeah, because of that, I can switch it into the Diggersby and force him out. So here I did consider going for that, or actually pulling a double, predicting the Comfy, because or actually just going for 2 Acrobatics would have done the job. But thing is, I just wanted to try and I didn't want to mess around with the Diggersby because it's the biggest starter of my team remaining. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. But now that he's in with Comfy, here this might have been a misplay, but I pulled the obvious switch into my Amoonguss again, but he just goes for the Synthesis, meaning he didn't double, which is good. But this just leaves me in a good spot to fire off another Sludge Bomb. I'm very healthy now because of all the regen, as he decides to sacrifice Thunderous. So yeah, Amoonguss is definitely putting in the work. You can't really kill it right now, aside from the Victini. So after 2 rounds of Rock Strip, Diggersby is actually in range of Seed Bomb. So yeah, now here he brings out his Diggersby. I'm just gonna go for the Spore. I figured he probably U-turned, so perhaps I should have went for Sludge Bomb. But oh yeah, that was actually a huge misplay. I didn't even consider that till now, because yeah, if he U-turned and went hard into Victini on the Spore, it could have been troublesome. But I did figure he'd probably want to play as safely as possible with his Victini. Even if he did, it wasn't the end of the road because my Hydreigon can always switch into Victini once. So yeah, so but instead he just U-turns out into his Comfy, kind of silent and sleep. So which means now I can just fire off Sludge Bombs as I want. Here just decides to burn off a turn asleep. I actually went for the seed bomb on that turn in case you want to go hard Diggersby, because that would have made sense because I was in range of return, and seed bomb would kill him because of the rocks chip. So, but here I figure this Comfy is getting annoying. I'll probably just go for the sludge bomb on this turn. It gets some nice chip on the Diggersby, even if it would get the Diggersby in range of Dark Pulse from my Hydreigon, even if he did want to go into that. So it wouldn't be the end of the world. But yeah, here he reveals the Calm Mind to go for the Sludge Bomb. But this is fine because I can go for the Toxic on this turn. As he just goes for the Synthesis, which means we get the Comfy Toxic, which means this game is pretty much ours. Spoilers, but yeah, basically what I am just gonna do here is I'm just gonna stay in with my Amoonguss, try and just get rid of this Comfy, and because of all my Black Sludge, I'm definitely out of range of Diggersby, which is amazing because it will die to my Seed Bomb. The +2 Draining Kiss is only doing like 10% to my Amoonguss, which is hilarious. But yeah, I'm just gonna spam Sludge Bomb. I don't lose anything by it, as he just has stack of his Victini. And his only way of winning this game is if he crits my Amoonguss right here. But he actually does not, which is great. I eat the return, I'll kill him with Seed Bomb, and now Comfy just dies to my Amoonguss. So yeah, GG to Abe. That was a very fun game. We pick up 3-0 victory. Amoonguss putting in the finest. He really didn't have much for it. So yeah, it was very great. Just walled a lot of his team. Spore, Toxic, annoying stuff. So yeah, that was a great game. Pick up 3-0 victory. We are now 3-0, I believe. I want to say +7, but I'm not sure. But either way, pretty good start to our season again in CPC. So yeah, that's pretty good. So yeah, GG to Abe. Be sure to check him out in the description. Thank you for watching. See you guys next time. Peace.